So part two of what I wanted to talk about a couple days ago, I was speaking about plans for the future for the homestead. And the second thing that we've been talking about, but haven't really decided on, is buying a van to help us with moving and for storage for some things, and also like like a U-Haul type thing, but also useful for a homestead. So that's one of the things we've been thinking about, as well as bus life. So buy the land, put the bus on the land, and then build up from there and build your sheds and build your infrastructure and a garage and small projects until we get a full homestead built up is what we're thinking of. So that's what the other thing that we've been thinking about a lot for future plans for the homestead. Now, I've been watching a lot of RV living, cheap RV living on YouTube, which is the channel, and I was considering RV at first, and I think the bus might be better for a family of 3. And so that's what's on my mind. I'd love anybody who knows stuff about RV living and van life in general to share, especially if you've done some sort of homesteading thing where you park the vehicle on the land and then build your way up. There's not a whole lot of channels out there on YouTube that talk about bus life or van life while homesteading and building your way up to a full homestead with, the garage, the sheds, the land, the barn, or whatever. I like aspects of van life and bus life, but not constantly being on the go. I want to put my roots down. I want to settle down. I want to build a place where I can grow food and provide for my family. And it wouldn't be good for my family to be traveling all the time. So anyway, those are the thoughts on my head. That's what I've been thinking about, planning for, dreaming about lately. And no, I don't have anything definitive done yet other than planning and decluttering the house. So one of the things I've been doing to declutter is I had 2 of these containers of flea away for the pets. It's basically a pill that they take. And if you measure this out, it's going to be like half a teaspoon, probably. I'd have to double check. But, so one of the things you do when you're decluttering is get rid of extras. Well, I need both of them. But I can powder it and put it all in one jar and have one jar only, which means less stuff. So I thought that would be a great way to get rid of the extra jar and powder it and put it all into here. And you know what? Once you powder it, you don't have that much in there just from one jar. And I've been working on pounding away at the, if you can see, I've been working on pounding away my mixture here that these pills are made out of. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing for decluttering. I'm getting rid of what we don't need. The hardest part of decluttering is the sentimental things. And it turns out we have a lot of sentimental things that we have a hard time getting rid of. And yeah, so sometimes it's an emotional thing you go through too, where you're like, okay, I don't need the thing, but I don't need it. I don't need it and I don't want it, but yeah, I can't let go of it. So there's that process where either you can take a picture of it for memories, or you can, simply say I'm done with it and donate it to someone who needs it. So those are the things on my mind. I hope that you all are doing great. If you've ever homesteaded or decluttered your things, consolidated everything into small containers so that you have 2, you know what I mean? That's all part of the process. Share with me what you've done, things that have helped you. And, it may help someone else to share about that too, because lots of other people out there are looking to release what no longer serves, it's too much. And then if you're looking to move, why keep everything, just cut down on how much you have. But yeah, I don't always have a ton of space on my phone. It turns out I'm doing better this time because I deleted a ton of pictures and a ton of videos off the phones that I have to help me have more time to record. And so I wanted to be able to go over those things with you guys to share what's been going on here at the homestead and the plans in our minds and all that. And then of course we also have, fall is here. Today is Halloween, and I've got to start thinking about raking the yard. And I used to hate that chore, and sometimes I kind of still do, but the mind shift has happened when I realized that, you know what, I'm raking this not because of the rules here, which is one reason, but the second reason is the way I garden these days is tote gardening. So it's a container garden, but you fill the bottom half with sticks and then leaves or pine needles. And I've never really had a problem with pine needles. They break down fine. After 2 or 3 years, you've got soil, free soil. And so when I have that half filled, I fill the other half, or at least this much over the top, with soil bought from the store. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but my technique is different. I tend to put my pots on top of that soil. So when I'm watering the plant, it waters everything underneath. Oh, don't forget, I also put compost mixed into that also under the soil. So in that way, it's all breaking down, and I have holes drilled 1 to 2 inches down from the bottom of the tote, and that allows for water to leave and for worms to get in. And that is a great system. And my land is not flat here, so, and it's very rocky, so this is why I started gardening that way, because I was having a really hard time getting anything to grow right. And then I have a lot of trees around me, so trees will send out their roots to our water source and steal from that. And they're not technically trying to be brats or anything, but it's more of a opportunist thing. So I've heard of trees putting their roots into the holes of totes like that, and I've not really had that happen to me yet, but it's always good to be aware that that could happen. And so I think to myself, when I get land, I may not even continue that method of gardening. Maybe a small garden like that, like what I've already got, and then do the work on the ground. And looks wise, the way it looks, it's nicer. It's less messy looking, I guess. But convenience wise and what works for you where you are, the totes are amazing, especially when you are not really allowed to destroy a lawn for a garden, and you've got the rules to abide by. So I mean, there's so many options to garden by. But I do container garden with cloth bags also, but they tend to dry out. The answer to that, actually, I have one right next to me. Something like this, like the bottom of a pet cage, or even a cat's litter box, or your dishwashing sink basin that you might get. You can have it collect some water at the bottom. Now, the problem with that would be mosquitoes laying eggs, and the way to counter that would be just to fill it with soil. And you would always have that reservoir of water that is waiting for your plant, and it will wick up the moisture. And that is another thing I've done. While it's not a beautiful aesthetically looking garden, it's functional, and that's what I've been doing all this time. So we are getting up to 9 minutes here, and I don't have anything planned to share, so I'm gonna hit end to this. I want to thank you so much for watching and listening in. I'm not a outgoing person for the camera, so I like to just share, but I'm not like, super outgoing, and I am confident, but I'm not a camera person. So I want to be able to share with you guys stuff, and it may not be like other people who look like they were made for the camera, and they're so graceful, and it's all them, and they look so stylish and done up and perfect, and it's like, this is just me. It's just who I am, and that's how I do it. And I hope you are enjoying what I share, as well as the shorts with all kinds of information that I'm putting out there. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and have a great day. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.